Right. Morning folks, sorry I can't be with you in person today, just like the Oscars, but I do hope you have a very informative and very enjoyable day. This is probably about the 8th take of trying to make this video, because Bilal's phone keeps going off halfway through it. Anyway, let's set some context to the background of the Ofsted inspection. Where we were, where we are now, and where we're going. If you remember back in November 2014, our overall success rates were 59%. These were just 4% above the minimum SFA threshold. We're now at 79.1%, which is a huge increase. Now, through our self-assessment process, we identified many weaknesses in all aspects of our provision, i.e. outcomes for learners were poor, quality of teaching and learning assessment was poor, leadership and management was poor, the overall effectiveness of the organisation was poor. And during this time we produced our first self-assessment report as a directly funded provider. Now this is crucially important because the self-assessment report and the accuracy and validity of that report is used by Ofsted and is a key document by which they use to plan and focus inspection activities. Now we self-assessed at a grade 4 across all aspects, apart from safeguarding, which was a grade 2. Now this was an accurate judgment, but it also highlighted some potential risks to the organisation. As judged by Ofsted, a grade 4 training organisation runs a risk of removal from the ROTO list, which is the Register of Training Organisations. Now this list is the only market entry point for SFA if you wish to deliver education and training services. So in effect, removal from this list could have been game over for Pathway Group. Now at Christmas we started to introduce some changes in response to the self-assessment report. Some of the key ones here, I won't list them all, but some of the key ones was the target gold standard by 2017, which I hope you're all familiar with by now, which represents a new beginning, a new approach and a new direction for Pathway Group. We also introduced some new arrangements across some key areas, for example quality assurance and improvement planning, where we scrapped the number grading system and the approach of snapshot observations throughout the year. We introduced performance management processes with role-specific performance measures using a RAG-based rationale in our RAG rating system. We also introduced role-specific staff training and development planning. And we also tried to set the seed at this point for the organisation to aspire to be a high-performing culture where high performance is the norm and not the exception, and to build momentum in order to take us to our target of being gold standard by 2017. Now all this seems a long time ago now, but it's only been 6 months. Throughout this time we've pulled together and worked tirelessly to address these weaknesses over the past 6 months. In April we self-assessed and regraded ourselves as grade 3 for all aspects of the provision, apart from safeguarding, which remained at grade 2. And then we had the Ofsted call, and so began Pathway Group's first inspection as a directly funded provider on Tuesday, June the 2nd, 2015. Now what were the outcomes from the Ofsted inspection? Well, I'm sure you all know this, but I'll just repeat it anyway. We had grade 3 for outcomes, grade 3 for the quality of teaching, learning assessment, grade 3 for leadership and management, grade 2 for safeguarding, grade 3 for overall effectiveness. Now that accurately reflects our self-assessment grade, which gives a lot of confidence to the inspection team. Although grade 3 requires improvement, and I'm not going to be jumping over with joy about getting a grade 3, make no mistake, this is a positive result for us. We have come such a long way in a short period of time, and this accurately reflects where we are at this point in time. Now, part of the inspection process is the lead inspector produces, from the information available, what's called a pre-inspection briefing. This document outlines the broad inspection themes that is used to base inspection activity for the other aspect inspectors as well as the subject area inspectors. Now I'd just like to sort of read a little bit from it, because I think it's important, because what it does, it highlights the importance of the self-assessment report and its accuracy in the judgments that we arrive, and not only that, the evidence that we use to support those judgments. Now, it won't take me long, I'll just read it to you. This provider has produced what appears to be a rigorous, incisive and self-critical self-assessment report, and award grades that are realistic and consistent with the data and evidence base cited in the document. Managers have identified many weaknesses in all aspects of the provision. The SAR was written in October 2014. This provider has also produced a live update of the SAR, not just for this inspection, but as part of a monthly quality cycle. The SAR was updated in April 2015 with a careful review of the action taken against each SAR judgment and an assessment of the original judgment 6 months on. Grades have been updated against the reviewed judgments. The update appears to be as rigorous and incisive as the initial SAR. So what the lead then did was have a look at that and then give some broad inspection theme activities for the rest of the inspection team. This is what he said. Is the SAR as incisive and self-critical as it appears? Are the judgments accurate and appropriately weighted? Is the live update review of the SAR as incisive and self-critical as it appears? Has the review accurately captured the current provision? Has the provider, now this is the key bit for the inspection activities, has the provider done enough between October and April to justify the grades as updated in the April 15 live update? Now the feedback from inspectors was that we certainly had done enough to justify those grades, and hence the grade 3 judgments. But that was set against the backdrop of legacy issues, especially when we had to also deal with the legacy of functional skills, the issues concerning staffing gaps. Some of these staffing gaps were due to performance management of some, and others leaving with little notice period. Throughout the inspection, the inspectors also acknowledged that we had done significant work in all of the 3 areas. Some of the key ones that they referred to, on outcomes for learners, inspectors acknowledged that there was significant improvement in outcomes for learners. Progression to employment was high, with 4/5 remaining in employment or gaining employment with other employers. Now, if you were to take that second judgment there, the progression to employment, you would find that high level of progression in an outstanding provider. So there are elements of what we're doing that are already reaching that sort of that mark for us. The quality of teaching and learning and assessment. Again, inspectors acknowledged that IAG was strong throughout the learning programme, both at the beginning, throughout on while learners are on programme, and also at the end. Equality and diversity was well considered, and naturally occurring themes were used, and also that the employers that they spoke to were keen to add value to the benefit of their apprentices. On leadership and management, the inspectors acknowledged that there was a visionary leadership, that the SAR was fully accurate, the self-assessment process was inclusive, that Pathway Group was highly responsive to the labour market. Within the delivery there was good development and use of social media, and what was really encouraging from the inspection team was the positive feedback from all of the inspectors on our capacity to become an outstanding provider if we continue on our journey in the same rigorous way. So therefore, our goal is to become outstanding by the next inspection. Now, under the current Ofsted arrangements, and this will probably continue when they revise the framework, which is due for September, the inspection focus is on the quality of teaching and assessment, as it should be. Now, Saj, who is the lead for internal quality assurance, will give more details and a bit more richness around this area later on. But in closing, I'd just like to say a big thank you to everyone for all your hard work, endeavours and commitment thus far. But our journey has only just begun. We have a great deal to do to achieve gold standard by 2017, achieve a grade 1 outstanding inspection by the next Ofsted visit, which should be within the next 12 to 24 month period. Anyway, in closing, have a great day and have a great weekend. Thank you very much.